Guys, I hadn't had time to do anything with the, as far as the part list or PDF file or anything like that, but I'm gonna do a short video here and upload this sort of a footnote down under this tube deal. What I tell you, we're swapping an engine out and doing some stuff. We're fixing to run another engine. If you've took time to watch the videos, this is a learning process to do some of this stuff. And you know, I mean, you know, I know y'all get on here and watch. We don't hang out and all that stuff. So I run a business, and you know, sometimes you just don't have time to really think things through, and you have to kind of let things stew for a little while for you to come up with a different thought process. And I have sort of the last couple of days, I've really been thinking about something on this tube deal, and I've gone through the videos and I've showed y'all the mods we're doing. You know, what they're for. I've explained that, you know, the LA deal about the set screws with in the number 2 and the number 4 main. You can't do that because you can't restrict rocker arms to feed to the top of the block. But one thing I think I don't necessarily think it's a mistake, but I think that a technique needs to be changed. If you watch the videos, or if you have watched the videos, you'll see me put the tube in, and you'll see me do all the bullshit and then ping it, drill them, open them back up for the lifters, and then you'll see me flip the block around, and then I drill the mains out and all that stuff. And I'm not so sure, no matter how good, no matter how clean, or how many times you run one of these blocks through a washer, I think we're still have some aggregate, down in the galley. I haven't. The last block I did was the video I shot. Obviously, it's pretty much just done at this point. And if another block is done, which I will do another block, what I'm going to do is change the techniques. I'm going to go ahead and run the reamers in and do all that stuff with the tube. But where I think a mistake's being made is drilling the mains back up to the tubes, because I'm waiting until I put the tube in. I think I'm going to switch that around. I'm going to go ahead and ream the block for the tube. I might test fit it as I ream it, and then I'm going to flip the block over, and then I'm going to go ahead and drill the block or check the galleys to make sure they're the proper size, because I found inconsistencies in the block castings. So I'll go ahead and drill the iron out before I ever even put a tube into the block, where you can take carburetor cleaner or brush blocks and you kind of pre-clean the galley as good as you can. But that basically, where you don't have the tube in, where you could possibly push aggregate behind the tube and it wash out as you clean the block, you get all your machine work done, you do the assembly. You could have a minute amount of shaving iron still in the galley system. So I think I'm going to do all the iron work first, as far as the reamer goes, as far as drilling the passages from 2, 3, and 4 back up to the tube. And then when I put the tube in and you do all that bullshit with it, pinging and drilling and doing whatever you're going to do with the tube, then basically you run your bit back down in there, and you only have to drill look for brass. You know what I'm saying? You basically just got a brass shaving deal. So it's easier to spot, number one. If you see it, it's easier to find. And just change our techniques around to try to do a little bit cleaner outcome with this thing. Because I do think there's some stuff being left behind. I mean, I've cleaned and cleaned and cleaned and cleaned. Cleanliness in an engine assembly is key. I mean, little bit of trash ain't gonna hurt. It might scratch a bearing or something like that, but it's not gonna really cause an engine failure unless you have a major piece down in there. But I do think the technique needs to be changed. Obviously, the obvious thing in this whole deal with the engines is machine work has to be just spot on the money. I mean, you've got very little forgiveness in that, which was what we were fighting for so long of a time, is just inconsistency in machine work. But anyway, that's sort of a footnote I'm gonna put it down in the comments, and think about how the process is. Headed to the racetrack, do some testing today, and good luck with this race season.